Welcome to TESOL-Bytes, where we serve you GIS in small bites. Today we'll be covering ArcGIS Pro Optimized Hotspot Analysis. In this video, I will discuss the Optimized Hotspot Analysis tool, its different parameters, and how it's different from the Hotspot Analysis tool. The Optimized Hotspot tool executes the hotspot analysis Getty's ORG-GI tool using parameters derived from characteristic of your input data. In this exercise, we will be using the Austin traffic incident data. The goal is to find out statistically significant clusters of traffic incidents. The input for this tool could be either points or polygons. If you have counts, rates, averages, or indices of your incidents in your input, that can be used as this analysis field. Without an analysis field, the tool will aggregate the points in order to obtain point counts by itself. As you can see, under this incident data aggregation method, there are 4 different options. For the first 2 options, count incidents within fishnet grid and count incidents within hexagon grid, an appropriate polygon size for the data is computed, and then that is used to create a fishnet or hexagon mesh. This mesh is then positioned over incident points, and the points within each polygon is counted. These point counts are used as the analysis field. For count incidents within aggregation polygon, you need to provide the polygon for aggregating incident into counts feature layer. For the snap nearby incidents to create weighted points option, a snap distance is computed and used to aggregate nearby incident points. The last parameter is optional as well, and it uses a polygon feature class defining where the incident input features could possibly occur. When we run the tool, there are many steps involved before it goes into actual hotspot analysis. First step is initial data assessment. Here the input features and the optional analysis field bounding polygons defining where incidents are possible and the incident data aggregation method are examined to ensure that there are sufficient features and adequate variation in the values to be analyzed. Next is incident aggregation. Depending on your selected method, the tool aggregates the data. The third component of this workflow is scale of analysis. Here the goal is to identify an appropriate scale of analysis, which is a distance that matches the scale of the question that the user is asking. Optimized hotspot analysis uses different strategies to determine this distance. Once the distance is set, the tool now runs the Getty's ORG-GI statistics. When that's done, it will correct the results for multiple testing and spatial dependence automatically. In our exercise, we have used the hexagon aggregation method. These hotspots represent the statistically significant clustering of high number of incidents defined by low p-value and high z-score. Once the output has been created, you should click at View Details and check the message to understand what parameters the tool has used to create this output. You can see that the distance band that the tool has used is 4,563 meters. One of the common applications of this tool is to run this tool first with your input to get ideas about these parameters and then use them in the regular hotspot analysis tool where you will have more control. In this tool, it automatically aggregates incident data, identifies an appropriate distance band, and corrects for both multiple testing and spatial dependence. All these decisions the user have to make for themselves in the hotspot analysis tool. The difference between this tool and the hotspot analysis tool is very much like the difference between the automatic and manual setting of a camera. The optimized hotspot analysis automatically does all these calculations and takes all the decisions for you. However, in the hotspot analysis tool, you will have full control over all the parameters. To recap, we discussed different aspects of the optimized hotspot analysis tool and the difference between this tool and the hotspot analysis tool. I think this is a great stopping point. This has been TESOL-Bytes, where we serve you GIS in small bites. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to visit us at www.tessolations.us. Also, subscribe and ring that bell.